Well, tonight we're going to discuss, is the debate relevant? What are your thoughts on the debate? Which debate am I talking about? Why don't we discuss it a little bit? But I do have a little bit of a clip to play, which I think is relevant. There's that word again, relevant. Let's listen to this newsroom opening. Let me know what you think of this clip.
Sharon is a very funny woman, but she has less faith in American individualism than I do. Now, wait a second. By the way,
when did I ever
didn't
express
say
any lack of
and
faith?
never said that Barack Obama was a socialist.
Seriously.
What I said and what I have always
you
said
are
is that
begging
his
me to run a sound
policies
package
are
Monday morning that shows you hundreds of times calling the president a socialist.
Do you even
I'll
know
read your
the
columns
difference?
on the air.
The policies are, look up the definition, my friend, they're socialist.
By your definition, so are Ronald Reagan.
Oh, don't
What do
even
you think
start with Reagan.
taxes
That was the last great
American
president.
individualism can't
Sharon.
build roads. An individual...
Go on, just start. Get it all out. Get it
Thank
all
you.
out,
Since the
please.
question was addressed to me, an individual can't build a school.
I just got to pause it there for a minute. When they said that, when that one person said, and you think Reagan was a socialist too, they're talking about socialist Democrats, which were part of the problem before World War II. In Germany, the Weimar had Democrats running it. And this was not good for them because they didn't get anything they needed, like food and jobs, infrastructure. All those things were gone because of World War I. Oh, okay. To my chatters, I'll get to it in just a minute. Just be patient a minute. All right. So, getting back to Weimar Republic, which was what happened before the Nationalist German Society type of thing, is very erroneous to think that President Ronald Reagan was a socialist Democrat. It's a slam. It's a complete slam. And this is important because I have a clip I'm going to play later, which is interesting. And but let's go back to this clip and listen to this banter, which it was pretty recent, by the way. Let's listen.
Or assemble an army
No
or
one's talking about
navy.
disbanding the army.
So
On
we
your
can agree
radio
that the
show,
government is good for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Fine. On your show,
Fire
you talk about
department,
funding
good
for the
idea
arts.
or bad idea?
You are getting so worked up, Sharon. I'm afraid you're going to start shooting light out of your head.
Good idea or bad idea on the fire department? Or should it be a private fire department that only comes to your burning house if you paid your monthly fire bill?
I am more than happy to pay for the fire department. I am not happy to pay for a painting that I don't want to look at, poetry I don't want to read.
You can't skip right to the NEA.
And you cannot skip right to the army because there's trillions of dollars worth of stuff, 10,000 unnecessary.
Of the federal budget, and is code for New York, Jewish, perverted, and gay.
Will. Yes, sir. Anything to add?
I think we need a more precise definition of perverted.
Okay. We'll go on to the next question. You, sir.
My name's Steven. I'm a junior, and my question's for Will McAvoy. Do you consider yourself a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent?
I consider myself a New York Jets fan, Stephen.
Since it's been brought up, you've almost religiously avoided stating or even implying a political allegiance. Is that because, as a news anchor, you feel the integrity of your broadcast would be compromised?
That sounds like a good answer. I'll take it.
There was a short piece on Vanity Fair's website by Marshall Westbrook. You probably saw it, where he calls you the Jay Leno of news anchors. You're popular because you don't bother anyone.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Jealous of the size of Jay's audience.
Are you willing to say here tonight whether you lean right or left?
I voted for candidates run by both major parties.
Let's move on to the next question. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Will?
The New York Jets.
No. I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world?
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is America
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
What the fuck was in your mind? That was a kid.
I'm sorry. I'm taking medicine for vertigo, and I think it works because I've got it.
You're in trouble, man. You can't talk to me like that.
You need a doctor?
Jesus Christ.
Listen.
All right. Well, that was the opening for the newsroom, just in case you're wondering what that clip was. Like, that was a hell of a long clip, and I get that. I had to take care of some things. I want to talk in a serious thread at this point. The debate tonight, they had questions about terrorism after the tragedy, the massacre. It's not a tragedy, it's a massacre that happened in Paris. You know, we need to look at things again. And in particular, the way France handled Germany over 100 years, I think we need to take a second look, or a third look, at how they're handling things when it comes to terrorism. You know, I think it matters. Now, yesterday, I had read the first chapter of The High Cost of Vengeance. Now, I must be honest, there's a chatter here called Apocalypse, and he brought this book to my attention because it was written by a family of mine. And it's a pretty good read. It was published in 1949, though, so you have to remember it's 1949 when you hear me reading the first chapter. And it talks a lot about France and its treatment of Germany. Now I wonder if the treatment of certain countries have afflicted France with this massacre. Have they egged this on? Not that would give them, this group, a reason to do it, but what are the dynamics behind it, and how can we not repeat the mistakes of the past? Now, The High Cost of Vengeance, of course, Apocalypse brought this to me, was written by Frida Utley. She has a son by the name of John, Jon. And he's written I don't know if it's a documentary or a book, I think it's a book called A Narrow Escape about his father, who really did not escape. He died in a Soviet concentration camp, shot in the back of his head because he was protesting by starvation. That's all he had left. So they shot him. Again, this book I think is powerful. It was the Council of Foreign Affairs that helped publish this book. She was having a hard time getting books published. And lo and behold, President Ronald Reagan became a fan of my family member. George Bernard Shaw supported her. Amazing woman, amazing writer. You know, she was amazing. So I want to play this clip, and then we're going to go to the debate. And I want to hear your input. So here is John Utley on A Narrow Escape, so I can link that with questions they'll be asking in the debate. And we'll get to other stuff.
My name is John Utley. I came to America in 1939. I was born in Moscow in 1934. My mother was English, my father Russian. My father was taken away in the purges, arrested in 1936. My mother had kept me on her passport as a British subject. In those days, no Russian baby could leave the country without enormous permissions. And when I was born, she put me on her passport, and my birth certificate had only her name. No Russian baby could get out. When my father was arrested, and when I was born, it was already dangerous. Many, many people were being taken away to the Gulag. My mother tried for 2 weeks to get him out, to do something to get in touch, to find out why he'd been arrested even. And then she began to fear terribly for me. Often the wives of prisoners were taken as well, and the children were just left out in the streets, babies even. So she got out to London, to England, with me as a child, and that's why I'm alive and here. And that was at 36. In 39, we came to America. What's interesting is that she was very tied in with the English left, and she got a letter sent to Stalin on behalf of my father, signed by Bertrand Russell, George Bernard Shaw, the top English socialists, urging that he be freed and asking for